There's one movie where the guy says, "It's a new day, people. It's a new day." Even though it's the same day, it's still a new day. You know how it can be, even though it's the same day, it can be a new day. You want to know how? It's the same day down here, but it can be a new day on the inside. And you have to do that often. You need to do it every day. We all need to do it every day, but sometimes it's hard to do. It's a new day. It's from that movie Live, Die, Repeat. You know, the guy wakes up in a time loop, you know. And every time he goes through that boot camp, he becomes a new person. And he finally realizes what's going on. He's fighting a war with an enemy that is that can control time, that's superior, and knows the future before it happens. Think about the demons and the fallen angels and the demons are outside of time looking at this same repeat game. They know the patterns that were sown into your life as a child. They can read your body language, what you've said to people, your weakness, your strengths. They know. They got monitoring spirits in people. You rub shoulders with people, you don't even realize a demon's watching you. And so they set up these big schemes to keep you in an old you. And that old you who died yesterday or died last year or died 10 years ago or died 20 years ago or died when you're a different person. You're new every day, right? So that old you that couldn't break a stronghold for nothing or a pattern. Stronghold's the pattern that was created. It's like a phantom. It's like a ghost. That stronghold will show up in other people, but it's really not the other people. God just uses those other people to remind you, hey, you got to face off with this one, this fake reality bubble, this stronghold is fake, you know. It's actually fake. It's not even real. It might be a stronghold that you stay up too late, and you could, if you just got up early, you could be rich, you know, but you stay up too late. It could be a stronghold where you're just doing something unhealthy, and you think you can't quit, but you've created a pattern for so many years. You think, oh, it's impossible to quit, but it's not. It could be a thought pattern stronghold. It could be a submission stronghold where you don't want to submit to God's will, but you want to do your own will, or anything. It could be anything. Anything that's not healthy. And it's hard in these bodies, these old flesh bodies, these old water and flesh. You get tired, you get bored, so you turn the TV on, say, or you turn a video game on, or you turn something on the phone or computer. Instead of just being quiet and being still and know that I am and paying attention to God and hearing God's voice, you want to hear the voice of a human or the world, the flesh, or the pride of life, because you're in the middle of it. When you make healthy stuff a priority, I hope I got that heater on. when you make healthy stuff a priority, I'm going to have to go back there for lunch just because I think I left the heater on. And you turn it into a game and turn it into something, an experiment like fasting or whatever. You make that a priority, that becomes a habit. So you can, the way to set new patterns is put off the old and put on the new. I'll give you an example of how the devil works. And people they don't even know that they're in the script, you know. So let's say yesterday you said, okay, I'm not eating any more sugar for a week or a month or 3 months. I want to heal. I want to lose weight and heal, because if you cut back sugar, you will lose weight. If you take MCT oil, you will lose weight. And so you say, yesterday, 5 o'clock, I'm not eating sugar. And then you go into work and there's donuts right there on the table. Have a donut. We got brand new donuts in here, and you know a donut is nothing but bread and sugar. That's how it works. The script, these people are being taken captive, especially if you say it out loud, or you tell somebody else, or you watch a video about cutting back sugar. The devil's saying, oh, okay, so we need to step in. But it might not even be the devil. It might just be such a stronghold that you've sown. When you decide to make a change, the universe has to try to pull you back into that pattern. It's the patterns that we've sown. We've sown a pattern so long that when we make a change, the universe says, you've sown the pattern, and we're just giving you the pattern that you've sown, and you're saying, no, The fabric of space-time. I had this, not a vision, but this thought that I had a few things just pop in my eye gate that blew my mind, but I had this thought that is no different than the movie, what's the name of that movie where I resisted watching it for a long time, but it kept showing back up. And I said, okay, let me watch the movie. The Never-Ending Story, right? Where the guy was actually reading the book and watching it. It was living out as he was reading the book. The storyline was really happening, and what he would do affected the storyline. He opened the window and said the reality that was collapsing, he could speak, and it regenerated or whatever. As he turned the page, he was actually living out the same story. And there was also an episode on Star Trek Deep Space Nine where the captain of the ship, he was in a room in a psychiatric ward, and he was writing on the wall a story of Deep Space Nine, but he was actually would shift realities where he was in the psychiatric room, but he was also would shift and he was actually on the ship. It's the very story that he was writing out in the cell. He was writing it on the wall, and he says, I ran out of chalk, or I ran out of ink or magic marker or whatever. He was writing on the wall, and he was actually living the story he was writing. Let me say that again. Deep Space Nine. The commander. It went into like a spiritual thing towards the end. He is the Cisco. He won't let us down. He is the Cisco. He will not let us down. He thought it was fake, but it was real. And he was actually writing the book, writing the movie in his room, his cell, where they thought he was crazy, but he was writing the book and actually living it out and was playing out. You're writing a book. Your mind, your thoughts, your habits, the patterns that you sow. You're actually writing a book. And like I said, you can choose to live in Genesis 3. You can choose to live in Revelation. You can choose to live any story in the Bible. You can choose to live Samson, Delilah. You can Elijah, Jezebel. You can see those stories trying to play out. And if you had a story that played out early on in life, because I know I had the Jezebel, Elijah story play out so many times. It blew my mind. But I made a choice to step into that. I remember when that started. I just now remember as I'm thinking about it. That story played out. When did you write into that story? And it started to repeat. Wow. And breaking that stronghold has to go all the way back when you were like 18 maybe, or 20 or something like that. When did that story start? 20 something. When did those stories that you wrote about your life play out? I mean, and then sometimes they're good stories. Like you might write into a career. You might go to college and study and get good at something, a career, and get so good at a trade that you wrote that story into the fabric of space-time, and you've been doing that kind of work forever because you wrote the story and you're good at what you do. Sometimes it's good. Think about your life, how patterns keep coming back. Certain things, certain kind of people, certain kind of relationships, certain kind of... You wrote the story. Don't be mad at that other person. You had the choice to walk away, but you let it continue. If you believed a catfish 20 years ago, and you woke up and you said, go away, catfish, then another one shows up, another one shows up. If you let it go on for too long, that pattern's there. If you started drinking, you remember the first time you went to drinking, your college buddy said, hey, let's go drinking. And now they're gone, they're not drinking anymore, and you kept drinking, killing yourself, cirrhosis of the liver. That pattern started, they broke it. You thought it was cool. Then you finally had to say, how do I break this pattern? Any kind of cursing, the way you act, the way you respond, all patterns. You made a choice at one time and you let it keep going. Not cleaning your house, your room, not mowing your yard, not going to the dentist. It's almost like pattern recognition, and it's like writing your own story. Cisco, he won't let us down. He won't disappoint us. So it's like the unseen realms looking down, watching you. I guess Cisco became a prophet or something. He was called, He was the head of that ship, and he was a captain, but he was also a prophet, and he was also actually writing into the script that he was playing out. You're right. You're writing into the script that you're playing out. You're writing your own script, and you think, God's writing your script, but he's letting you make choices. It's not in a man's way to direct his own steps, but every choice that you make to choose the Genesis 3 fake reality bubble that you know is wrong, or you choose the revelation bubble where you're being revealed new truth and you step into it in obedience. And so the disobedience versus the obedience, you're writing your own script. In a way, if you're obedient to God, God is writing it, but you're stepping into it by a choice of free will to follow what God says. So you're writing that righteous script, or you're in rebellion and you're writing an unrighteous script that has nothing but pain and sorrow. And as you go through that fake reality script, you keep running into walls and dead ends, and you keep doing the same thing and bumping into roadblocks, and you keep hitting the same roadblock, and you have to shake your head and say, what am I doing? Why am I living a script that I don't want to live in? Why am I living the storyline that's not really for me? Come on now. Somebody should be getting a picture of what I'm trying to throw out. You should be able to pick up what I'm dropping off here. Are you picking up what I'm dropping off? Isn't that a saying that was a couple years ago? You should be able to start to grasp the concept. Do you step in Genesis 3 delusions, or do you step in revelations of truth day by day? Okay, I'm not walking that way anymore. I'm walking this way. I'm not believing that catfish scam. I'm walking in truth. I'm not staying in the matrix as a Neo. I'm stepping out of the matrix as the one. Neo, do the anagram, one. You're leaving the Neo fake reality into the oneness. I'm not going to be mean to people. I'm going to be kind to people. Notice I didn't say nice, because nice has a negative connotation. Look it up. Kind. I'm not going to be mean to people, but I'm going to be kind and keep my boundaries. I'm going to step into a new reality, because we love the death cult, because we were born in the death cult. That's all we knew.